ropes it off. A flying tackle by and a drop kick.
10 pounds of pure love.
Gotta hold this just a minute. You want a little bit more?
I'm the rich.
Gotta be the best of them. It's more to me than anything I've ever done in wrestling.
They call this the 10 pounds of gold. The championship has existed in its current proper form since 19...
That was pretty hard, and look at what he's gonna work now. Oh!
Hey everybody, it's Durger time, and thank you for joining me once again for another episode of Total Extreme Wrestling, Billy Corgan's NWA. We had a rough last episode with our product is really the issue here. So, a couple things. The last episode I said that we did a change to 2.5 hours. This is what we had talked about to try to solve some of this, but we did not. So I tried to in between episodes, and we're going to have an issue with that. So if I were to try to do 2.5 hours, which is basically more or less doing a 3-hour power with like a half an hour worth of commercials, Free Sports says no. Absolutely not. So they will just simply not allow that. I don't know whether the rest will. Good news is Free Sports is in its final month. The bad news is that I don't know if everybody else will be fine with it, basically. I don't know if that's just the only error that we're coming up with, or if there's a cascade of them that we're waiting for in the wings. So that might not be a possibility. And our big issue here is the balance between the time it takes for a match. It seems like, looking at it, it's 15 minutes for any match that has a wrestler that's considered well-known or above. So what we have here, and this is the fans expect important matches to be quite lengthy, but does not apply to important matches on lesser throwaway or B shows. So any match that has a person that is considered basically important or higher has to be what it seems like at least 15 minutes. That could be can that be managed in a 2.5 hour show? Certainly. But in a 2-hour show, that basically means, it would mean 3 matches, basically a show, more or less, giving it about 20 minutes, or 4 matches a show, really, and then some very short segments in between. It's difficult. Maybe I'm overthinking it and it's a problem. The other one that we got screwed over on is that I try to be sneaky, and try to be real sneaky, and tried to throw a sex appeal thing for Madison Eagles, which angles rated on sex appeal will be severely penalized, and certainly it was. So I don't mind that, because I feel like sometimes when I make angles, I go for whatever their highest rating is and try to play on that, and that leads to that, which we won't be able to use anymore. So I don't know whether I want to change this product or not. The other options are, besides going back to I think it was classic, we also have classic Southern wrestling, which is associated with the 1970s, 1980s style. The one that we're on is modern throwback, I believe, which is not showing up on here now. So if we go down here, we can look at it. Modern throwback, it's an approach to a golden age wrestling. Now, the thing about golden age is it's actually before the 70s. That's really not what the NWA is. When I was first thought about it, I was like, oh yeah, but really when you think of the NWA, you think, at least I do, I think peak Dusty Rhodes era. I think 80s, right? Maybe late 70s. And that's really Silver Age, kinda. Silver Age pro wrestling, right? Somewhere in between Respectful and Golden Age. Work rate is more important. It's sort of that one. That one also has a problem, though, of fans expect important matches to be quite lengthy. So So we run into that issue there again, that it becomes a problem with booking. Southern wrestling, I don't think hits that for us. It has its own things, including a harder work rate, where 2 extreme matches will be put off. Matches, it has a lower barrier for world-class scores, which is nice. Overbooked matches will get penalized unless they're really good. So I feel like Classic Southern is a little bit closer to what I think of, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to make a decision at the end of after this episode, I should say. So I want to hear from you guys. I feel like Classic Southern might be the correct style for us. I think modern throwback is throwing back to too old of a system. That's throwing back to classic NWA, which isn't really what I think we're booking, nor is really what the NWA is. The other option would be Silver Age, which we still run into that issue, but might be a little bit closer as well. I think I'm leaning towards Classic Southern, which might have been where we were before originally. So maybe that actually is closer. I don't remember what we had it originally set as. It might have been Classic Balanced, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, and if you think we're running into headlong, or if we should stick to modern throwback and try to manage it. I do not know. So it's definitely an issue for us, for certain. Other than that, we got Kimberly leaving today. No major issues. Have still not debuted Darren Young. Feel bad. I've hired him and have not debuted him. I was going to put him on a team together. I don't even remember who I was going to team him up with now. It's been so long, which is a bit of a problem. Honestly, it's a little bit of a problem. We also have our 3 broadcast deals for our international leaving us, and we will not be able to renegotiate those yet, which is fine, but that is what it is. Now, we still have some morale issues with Eli Drake. He's still annoyed at his booking, is furious at a booking. I'm just going to let it I'm going to let it slide, and we'll deal with it when we have to deal with it. I mean, we're giving him a big program. He'll be happy eventually, and we'll deal with it. The other thing is Alistair now has a new name, a new weird name that we're going to throw on here. So he's going to now be Ezekiel Crowley. Ezekiel just being a sort of religious name. And then Crowley, obviously, is being the inspiration to his Alistair Black name, which I thought was kind of fun. So we have, that sort of inversion of Alistair. Alistair Crowley, known occultist in the early 20th century and maybe late 19th century into the 20th century. Did some weird stuff. A lot of weird get-togethers, seances, and other less than acceptable things to talk about on this channel. But he did a bunch of different things. But as the inspiration for the Alistair Black character, sort of mystical, dark arts kind of thing. And in Ezekiel, we're just trying to bring in sort of a religious iconography there. So we'll go with that for now. And that's pretty solid. I'm happy with that. So we got another show in a couple days. Let's go ahead and sim to it and see how it lands. All right, what do we got going on here? Got some news incoming. NWA has made several contract offers in the past 2 days, looking to expand their roster. What else? We got Ember Moon, which wants to wrestle in foreign places. Cedric Alexander is staying. And we got a pay raise request. What are we paying you? Sure. Why not? Nothing else to note in here. Alright, we got those deals expiring, which we know. One night deal with Impact. One night deal with Impact. Kimberly officially left NWA. And we might have a production issue we have to take a look at. Let's see. We just updated our production. Nope, we're all in the green. We could push to go higher. We don't really get a benefit. We just hurt everybody else, which at this point, I just really care about being equal. I mean, technically, we are superior to a bunch of other people, so we're already, we're just trying to be at par with the top performer, which is currently, I think, Ring of Honor is the one we are even with. So, costs money, certainly. It's not fun to do. You know, we are definitely spending a lot more money on production per show. I don't know. You know, we paid for this upgrade here. I don't know whether it's a per show running. I think it's total running cost is the one that we're going to get hit on higher. Not a huge deal. It was only extra like $15,000 a month, but still, it's annoying to go through. So we got a show still to sim to. Let's go ahead and get to it. Whoa, there's a lot of AEW extensions here. I think it's all of their contracts for broadcasting. Yes. Well, good for them, I guess, the jerks. Anything else there? New champion. Laredo Kid, Latin American title. Good for him. Sami Callihan entering a new feud. Alright. You know, we haven't looked in a while. See if there are any workers leaving any companies that would be interesting for us. Ethan Page walks out on Impact. Might not be a bad get, actually. Jimmy Jacobs, all of us, we just fired. No, a lot of loan periods and stuff like that. Nobody really interesting. One night deal with MLW. Sting has retired. I don't know why I got that notification. Maybe he was on a short list, but he's retired. And one night deals again with Impact. Our Alliance champions putting in work, hopefully are still Alliance champions. I know we don't control that, and some people have said that I am playing with fire by doing stuff with them, I guess. But so far, they have maintained, and you know, in fact, I've not seen any new tag defenses at all in here, which I think is funny that they're just borrowing them and not actually using them in the show as a championship match or anything like that. It's a very odd. I would have thought I would have had a ton of like challenges here and stuff like that. Though actually, this is people changing, so that I should check defenses and see. Okay, so I lied. There are ones where we've had Enzo and Cass put in work actually for a while here for Alliance titles on a bunch of different stuff. So I lied. They are doing them. I have not seen any changes. Presumably Eddie Kingston had a defense. Ace Austin over there. You know what? I don't think we have. Ace Austin is. What are we at with you? We have you on a handshake deal. We need to lock you down. Because we are not going to make that mistake again. Contract offer doesn't interest me. I'm not willing to have all my other deals become exclusive to you. Really? Good news is that it sounds like he's not interested in exclusives at all. So, it's not a huge deal for us then. He is currently working. Where are you working at? Looks like Impact. Everywhere, actually. It's kind of doing everything. Okay, so we can't lock him down. That's not a big deal. If he's not going to get scooped up into an exclusive elsewhere, I'm not that concerned. So I guess we'll be fine with that. All right, let's get to the show. Man, we are not going to be in center stage. We are going to go to our arena. But first, we have some Wrestlers Court. Madison Eagles was brought before Wrestlers Court, accused of being an hour late to work for a signed travel partner. They're bad at picking up their travel partners. And of course, she had to pay the meals for 3 shows. Locker room control. We no longer need to do an open forum, so we can try to do something with people, which maybe we'll try Eli Drake. No effect. They have some tension between them, and I kind of wanted to get rid of it, but apparently that's not going to be the case. We're going to go back to the studio arena in Georgia. We're going to try to put on this show. We'll have 2 hours to book. Going to try to work. My goal here is I'm going to put every match at 15 minutes and see if that's enough to avoid that penalty for now. But again, let me know and I'll listen to you guys if you think we should change our product again and maybe get something that's a little bit easier to book, so we're not getting these penalties anymore. Show history from the last show. Obviously, we had, whole shenanigans with Kingston and Pillman and Drake and Eli Drake getting attacked by Samoa Joe. Chris Hero not debuting, but saying that, he's the king of pro wrestling, kind of self-ordained. We had the debut of Ezekiel Crowley for real, as he kind of explains that he is the true leader or the original person behind the Satori Initiative or something along that lines. Ron Killings debuting back in NWA. Heidi Lovelace shocked lost by Deonna Purrazzo. So a whole bunch of different stuff going on. Oh, and a Warhorse slugging Miro. What a brave soul. So definitely a lot of interesting little elements here. We got a whole bunch of more storylines in the wing. I mean, seriously, if you look at the amount of storylines we actually have here, quite a bit. So we got some stuff to book. Let's get on with it. Let's book ourselves a 2-hour power, see if we can do a little bit better than last time. Alright, guys. We got 125 minutes. We'll see how this does. I actually got a few more matches than I thought I could at straight 15. So every match is 15 minutes. So we'll see how this goes. I'm still a little concerned about this product. But we ended up getting more in here than I thought. And we'll see how it goes. We definitely didn't hit everything. I really would be a lot more comfortable with that 2.5 hour show. But we're stuck with where we're at unless we make a change. So let's see what a 2-hour power brings us. And it starts the show. Actually, this is better than I thought. Unfortunately, the injury that was sustained is not that good. Chris Hero, the king of pro wrestling, defeats Homicide in 15 minutes by submission. Some point in this match, though, Homicide sustained a semi-severed spinal column. That's like paralyzing. Chris Hero paralyzed Homicide. Got the show off to a great start, though. Jesus. So it's 48-44. Would have been a good opener match if this might be a career-ending injury. This is insane. That is an insane injury. Oh my god. I actually can't even get to the next screen. Why? There we go. It sustained a semi-severed spinal column in this match. Some of the show will be rebooked as a result. I've never seen this before, so I can't go next. I have to return to the booking screen. So I can't continue. You guys normally don't see this screen. I can't continue because after the match, there was a beatdown. Well, there can't be a beatdown because he's like dead. It's like dead, man. We like murdered homicide. Can I see medical? We're gonna have to take a look at this. Oh my god, I've never seen this. We had a massive injury. Oh my, that's insane. Like, we're gonna oh man. Chris Hero, what did you do? Alright, well, the show has to go on. Doctors will tend to homicide. We'll see how he is. Meanwhile, as we try to collect ourselves after this, Madison Eagles has a match, a tag team match against Mickie James and Delilah Doom. I think. Probably. I totally forget now. Eagles comes to the ring, and she's dragging her Women's Alliance belt on the ground. And when she gets in the ring, she just throws it over her shoulder out to the outside. Just a total disrespect of both Mickie James, who seems to take umbrage over it, but also specifically of the title. We really haven't heard from Eagles about why she's doing this, but she's being completely disrespectful. She's improvised well through the segment. It's a 33. It's not horrible. This match is actually not horrible either. We had Thunder Rosa, one of her last matches before she goes away, and Madison Eagles tag teaming against Mickie James and Delilah Doom. Delilah Doom does okay here. She gets a 33. Madison Eagles has a 44. Mickie James has a 47. Thunder Rosa has a 37. Again, that seems way too low to me personally, but I am a Thunder Rosa mark, so I know she's actually not that great in the ring, but she's improving massively, but I feel like she should be like 40. She should be about the same as Madison Eagles. She should be about 44, 45. Gain heat for the storyline. We got a 42, and in this match, Mickie James and Delilah Doom defeat Madison Eagles. Mickie James pins Madison Eagles with a quick cradle, proving that expert veteran prowess can defeat pure skill. I feel like this segment is in the wrong spot, but we'll go with it. I thought there was an after thing to that, but I think I screwed that up. Meanwhile, we have an interview at the interview booth with Tom Phillips. And Tom Phillips interviews Deonna Purrazzo about her actions over the last 2 weeks and the animosity that's been brewing between her and Heidi Lovelace. And she says, I've made a name for myself out here. I've struggled and toiled and worked, and I've made what I could here. And the funny thing is who I looked up to the whole time when I was training to where I am today, and who I modeled myself after, is Heidi Lovelace. Well, not physically, obviously, but that attitude, that never die spirit. Knowing you're better than everyone and not wanting to wait your turn and being told to be put aside until you get the opportunities that you deserve. In a lot of ways, indie Heidi Lovelace was my idol. Then she got signed to the big leagues. Then you turned your back on the entire wrestling community. Then you got the easy paycheck. And listen, I've been there. But that's why I know how lazy it makes you. And honestly, the idea that you can come back now and pretend that nothing's changed since 2015, it kind of makes me sick. It's just a new world. And I want to show the world and her that there is no queen. There is a new queen of the indies, and it's the Virtuosa. Virtuosa? Man, I'm never going to say it. I'm never going to say it right. Take a shot every time I say virtuosa. I still can't say it right. Jesus. Tongue twisting. I'm going to have to practice. I'm going to practice for 3 hours a day, just to say. I hate it as much as I have to say Deanna Prusa. Okay, anyways. Tongue ties aside and broken spines aside, this segment does not do very well. It does a 30. It's fine. She's very poor in trying to improvise dialogue, and we probably should have set her as a scripted. And would have got a little bit of a bump, probably like a 35. But again, this is not going well for us. Hey, look at that. There's that. It was really a nothing segment, but it was just that Madison Eagles and Mickie James flash win. Eagles getting shocked, kind of just after match thing. It really didn't matter. Gets us a 42 though. All right, here we go. The storyline everyone needs to know about. We got Danhausen and Warhorse. They are outside the arena near a brick wall, doing their best Jay and Silent Bob. Warhorse is tending to Danhausen wounds, specifically a cut on his arm that he's trying to put a Band-Aid on as he continues to squirm away. Go, ow, ow, no touching the wound. It hurts still, Danhausen groans. He's like, I don't understand why you waited a week to fix yourself up. I did it for the Showhausen. Warhorse gets up and stares at the camera that they have facing them. Miro, you don't get to hurt my friends like this and get away with it. You might be big and tough and strong and super hot, Danhausen interjects, and super hot. But I faced bigger and worse and hotter. Actually, wait. Anyways, I've faced worse and I've come out ahead. So let's dance, Mr. Miro, and I'll show you why I rule ass. That sounds wrong. Shut up. Warhorse flicks back at him. He then goes to turn off the camera and clicks it off. So we got Warhorse versus Miro. Poor Warhorse. Miro to Storyhausen. The storyline has advanced. We now have a call out to Miro. Warhorse seems confident that he might be able to get over on him. Got the crowd hotter. They like seeing it. Gets us a 39. Meanwhile, in the office, Eli Drake is called in to meet with Jeff Jarrett. And Eli Drake sits down and Jeff Jarrett's like, listen, boy, I see potential in you. You know, I've had an ace in my sleeve, a true champion. But I'm going to be honest with you. He's not with it anymore. He's too unhinged. He's too unpredictable. I need a steady hand to steer the ship. And I have a spot in it for you, Eli Drake. A true face of this company. If you're willing to do what needs to be done, and he kind of taps on his desk, and specifically tapping on a guitar he has sitting on there. He's like, Jarrett interjects and interrupts him. Listen, tonight, you face Samoa Joe. It's a good blow-off match. It's good money. But this is an important test. If you want that spotlight, if you want to be the face of the NWA, when the time is right, I want you to do what needs to be done. I want to know that you're all in and committed to this. Then I know you're right for the job. I know you're not going to disappoint me, son. So Jarrett is seemingly looking to replace Brian Pillman Jr. Seems to be eyeing Eli Drake. But Eli Drake does seem to have some reservations on this whole thing. Jarrett was improvising, did very well. Whole segment actually did really good in 53, got the crowd hotter. We have a decent exhibition match between Gran Cosa de la Lucha versus The Ascension. The Ascension take the loss, and Laredo Kid pins Connor with a 450 splash. Laredo Kid's a 60. Samurai del Sol, a.k.a. Callisto, is at a 50. Actually, these guys' workers are really strong. Connor has a 35. Victor has a 37. We have a beginnings of Trouble in Lucha Town starting here. I wanted to advance this a little bit more, but we had some problems with availability. But the Lucha Things, I should say, have a good win here. 51. And it was a little too short for an important match in the eyes of the audience. It went 14 minutes 38, which is interesting and a little terrifying because I set it for 15. So if 15's not enough, we're going to get penalized really bad. I don't like it. So after the match, Kingston comes out, grabs a microphone in the open ring. He's holding the Alliance title. And he goes, yeah, I fought for so long for recognition. I chased the belt for so long, and it cost me everything just to come up empty-handed. Some people look at the Alliance title I'm holding now as sort of like the consolation prize. Honestly, so did I. But nah, not anymore. Yeah, I've been traveling around with it a little bit. I've seen the glimmer in people's eyes when they look at it. And I realized something, that it might not be the 10 pounds of gold. Nothing really ever is going to be. But this ain't silver either. I'm going to work it. I'm going to mold it like clay. And I'm going to make it mean something, fight by fight. Mean something more than what it is. Big Platinum here is going to be about fighting. About getting rough and roughing people up. It's about challenging your betters and overcoming. It's about my life. I've always been the underdog. So every time I'm out here, I'm going to let those underdogs chomp. It's an open challenge. I'm not a good guy, but I'm trying to be better. Maybe this is atonement. So if you want this, if you want Platinum here, bring your best. Let's make some music. Kingston's masterful in this, does very well, 67. Again, we know this face rate turn is not going to work, so we got this kind of tweener thing where he's still kind of a heel, kind of being a face. This idea of atonement that Kingston's going through is the kind of the angle we're going with. And his first challenge is Marshall Von Erich. First solo match for him, and he actually does really well. So again, this is a problem. We set him for 15 minutes. It's a little too short for an important match. This is a real big problem. We got to find out what the minimum is. Very unfortunate. If it's like 20-minute matches, it's crazy. In a good match, Eddie Kingston defeated Marshall Von Erich in 15 minutes by pinfall, doing a blackout lariat. Eddie Kingston makes defense number 2 of the Alliance National Heavyweight title. Has in-ring performance of 57. Marshall Von Erich had a 50. It's actually doing really well. Match overall is a 57, which is a pretty good go with this segment. Fortunately, again, it's a little too short for the Alliance, and then that face turn's not working at all. Afterwards, we have a pretty good segment where Pillman comes out to interrupt Kingston. He's looking disheveled, real bad. Eyes are red, they're tired. There's a viciousness inside of him that's kind of just scraping, trying to get out and tear out of him. He goes, Eddie, we have so much unfinished business. You cost me everything. Kingston kind of shrugs him off a little bit. He's looking at him like a rabid dog. You can tell that Pillman's dangerous right now. He's like, well, yeah, bro. Well, it costs me a lot to get nothing in return. Mutually assured destruction. We are both left with nothing, I guess. No. That's not how it ends. Not until I take everything from you. He foams when he talks. You want a shot at this title? You got it, man. We can have it. No. I don't want your title. You ruined my career. So I want yours. It ends. Clash of Champions. I don't want your belt. I want you gone. Get out of my company. Career versus career. Loser hangs up their boots in the NWA for good. He throws down his mic and storms off. Pillman is gone insane. He wants Kingston gone, and he's willing to basically give up his contract in the NWA for it. This does very well. Jeff Jarrett ringside trying to cool Pillman down, still in his alliance. not doing well here. This is 63. So afterwards, we have our main event, Samoa Joe versus Eli Drake. And there's an post-match thing that's kind of the ins and outs of this match, but it had fantastic heat, it had great wrestling, and certainly it did. Eli Drake does defeat Samoa Joe in 14 minutes with pinfall, with a quick roll-up, the most dangerous move in professional wrestling. Samoa Joe had an in-ring performance of 69. Eli Drake had a 51. Actually not too bad for him. Eli Drake is kind of our top babyface at this point, so it's difficult, but it's not too bad of a performance for that. Parlor Tricks, we advance the Ace Austin storyline because he's the champion. They're obviously challenging for the championship. Still a little too short for the audience, which hurts us, but it got the crowd buzzing. What happened in this match? Well, when the time was right, the ref was injured because, as you know, if you breathe at a referee during the middle of a match, they fall down and are injured until they're needed not to anymore. And that was the case. Jeff Jarrett, who was ringside, saw this and threw his guitar into the ring for Eli Drake to use. Drake grabbed it, thinking of using it on the slightly dazed Samoa Joe. He hesitated, hearing the crowd chant no at him before throwing it away and fighting on his own. It becomes a competitive match with Joe attacking well on his own merit, taking a beating before besting him with a quick attack and a flash pinfall, able to overcome Samoa Joe just barely. Jeff Jarrett is enraged at ringside, and Eli Drake's celebration is cut short as the Revenant come out at the bequest of Jeff Jarrett and assault both Eli Drake and Samoa Joe, pounding them both into the ground with ease. So Eli Drake refuses the offer from Jeff Jarrett, maintains that facedom, decides not to become the replacement for Pillman, and Jeff Jarrett punishes him and Joe with a brutal attack by formerly the Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor. Gets a 59, a pretty good way to end the show. Actually, despite all of the penalties and a horrific injury that we had to look into, not a bad show. 58, about the same that we had last time. I'm happier with this, though, so I think we managed it better. I'm still a little concerned about those lengths that we have to go into, though, to get these matches a higher score. And that's definitely, I want to hear from you guys what you think, if we need to change that product, or we should just keep with it, and that's sort of the boundaries of what our show is. All right, so I'm sure we got some big news. Interesting that Adam Page wants to leave. Talk about a great potential 10 pounds of gold holder there. I'm looking to see if there's a major injury sideline here, because I'm sure there's going to be a problem here. Dogs of War formed. I'm very interested to see what our situation is here. We will look before that what our power was. It looks like it probably went down well. I actually don't see it listed here, which is weird, but that's fine. Let's look at his mail. This is not going to be good. Jinx and Jimmy Yuta has begun dating in Philadelphia. We had a one-night deal at Championship Wrestling. Madison Eagles is too small. You should release her. Find someone better, Eli Drake says. Madison Eagles too small. Get rid of her, says Eddie Kingston. 0.5, and then we have this semi-severed spinal column in this match. That's insane. We got to look at medical and see what we're looking at here. That is a huge injury. 1 year, 1 month, 3 weeks, unavailable for booking. I mean, my God. We could help him perform surgery, high risk. What a massive injury, though. That is insane. Where's medical in here? Out injured. Wanted to see what if we have an idea of what his health is at this point. I don't see it in here. It might not actually be available to see on this screen, but it's going to be out a year. I mean, Homicide was sort of just a support character, but you hate to see a 1 year injury. We could try to perform the surgery, but that's a high risk. I don't necessarily need him back in any earlier, but my God, Chris Hero, what did you do? Is Chris Hero's morale bad for practically murdering somebody in the ring? Because I would think it should be. No, he's happy. He's super thrilled. No problems. Not a care in the world about the fact that he just snapped someone's spine in half. Cool, Chris Hero. Man. Well, that's some drama for certain. So we ended on there. We got 2 more Powers and Clash of Champions coming up. Wow. Real brutal. Again, tell me what you think about the product, what we should do with it, and I'll make a decision by the beginning of next episode. But thank you guys for watching. If you're not subscribed, again, we're so close to 2,000. Let's see if we can get there by the end of the summer. I'd be super thrilled if we can get there, and maybe we'll do something special if we do. So if you haven't subscribed yet, and I know there's a bunch of you that have not, as I see the report, please do so. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks.